Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Jed Bedrock Aviation video. This is not meant to be a standalone video. This is more of a part 2 to a mid-end graphics video I made a while back. I'm making this video because of the recent Firebirds update that War Thunder released. I was going to make this video sooner, but I needed more time to collect some data and try out stuff for myself. If you haven't seen it, I will quickly sum up what I covered in that last video. As of the making of this video, I use an RTX 3060 Ti with a Valve Index VR headset. I get about 144 frames in good places, but to be honest, I usually get an average of 100 to 120 in combat situations. That video covered the ideal graphics settings needed to get high FPS while also a good picture. Now on to what this video covers. After the update, I noticed a lot of my settings were set to default, and I had really bad FPS, like 60 FPS or so. A lot of the old videos' content still stands, so I won't be going through all the settings again, allowing this video to be shorter and more of a part 2. Okay, like I said in the last video, this is for VR users. If you aren't using a VR headset, then just modify what I say accordingly. First up is VSync. You want to turn this off. War Thunder doesn't see your headset as a monitor. Turning this on will cap your FPS to whatever the FPS is of the monitor selected. I only have 60 Hz monitors, so it will cap my FPS at 60. So just turn that off and it will let your headset use all the FPS it needs. Next up is a big one, Graphics API, or Graphics Application Programming Interfaces. This is what fundamental structure your graphics card will use to render all the graphics in the game. Some API are faster or slower than others. This will impact your FPS depending on what API is selected. Now it doesn't affect it by much, but I digress. If you have all of your graphics drivers up to date, then the RTX 3060 Ti and above should support Direct 3D 12, or also known commonly as DirectX 12. At least that's how I understand it. If I'm technically wrong, then whatever. In this case, it doesn't matter. If I have chosen to go with DirectX 12 as it's more modern and I feel my FPS is better when using it, so this one is totally up to you. It's just a matter of preference. Though I will note that there are some later settings you won't have access to if you don't select DirectX 12. Most of this is pretty standard. Just make sure all the settings are what you had before. Once you get down to render and then heat haze, I kind of skipped over this in my last video. Heat haze murders FPS. So if the update turned this on, make sure to turn it off, as it can double your FPS at times. Now we get to the fun part, ray tracing. It is here where everyone watching this video would expect me to tell you to ignore it and move on. But to my surprise, it doesn't hurt your FPS that much if you only do air battles. Then the ray tracing doesn't do a whole lot. The reason I turned it off is because while it doesn't immediately hurt your FPS, it makes your FPS very unstable. And I was having stuttering whenever I merged with an enemy aircraft. So it's not bad when stuff isn't changing much, but in a furball, the FPS goes on a vacation. So all in all, play with this section until you disable it or find something you like. I will note that ray tracing is only available when using DirectX 12. Now, with this last one is a massive FPS hog, and it's kind of a hidden one. At the bottom of the settings in the others section, you have motion blur. Turn this all the way off, because I found that even at minimum, it still tanks the FPS by a lot. Well, that's all guys. I know this was a short video, but it was meant to be. If you want the full in-depth video, I will have it linked below. Make sure to look through every setting and check if it was set to default. Stuff like SSAA was set to default for me, so check that. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe for content in the future, and I will see you all next time. Bye.